Mama said there'd be days like this. Hey there, how you doing today? Thanks for joining me for another episode of Bitcoin and Coffee. I'll be your host, Eugene Forrest. So, what are we looking at today with the cryptocurrency market? Well, it looks like we had quite a wild weekend, right? We've seen Bitcoin Cash shoot up to almost $1,000. We've seen Bitcoin testing the $4,000 line. It looks like we're seeing some big gains here today in Ethereum and Monero. But let's run through the market here real quick, and then we'll see if we got some news to talk about. Let's see, we got $145.6 billion for a market cap. Seems like we've been staying here in this $140 billion range. But, I mean, that's still nothing to joke at. I mean, we've had like $120 billion added to this market cap over the last year or so. We got $6.8 billion traded in the last 24 hours. This is pretty good. We had seen some stability in the $5 billion area. Then we shot up to 10 there when we had Bitcoin Cash reaching $1,000. And now we got some BTC dominance coming in at 46.4%, which really isn't all that bad considering how many altcoins are out there. We slipped a little bit from around the 50% mark, but as Bitcoin Cash price drops and we see some of these altcoin prices find true value in the market, which is probably a little lower than what they're at now, hopefully this BTC dominance will increase. Let's see, what do we got up? We got BTC coming in at $4,087. That's some sideways movement at the moment, but testing the $4,000 mark as I had said, and it's been finding support there, so hopefully we continue to see BTC grow on as we move forward. We got Ethereum finding some support. They're up 10%, $326. This is great. Ethereum always finding support through these ICOs. Their platform's always moving forward with some better technology. And, we're always wanting to see Ethereum do better, right? I mean, a lot of people have made quite a bit of money off of this stuff. The growth on this is ridiculous at this point in time. We got Bitcoin Cash coming in at $659. That's down 16%. Like I said, they had some tremendous growth over the weekend. They had reached almost $1,000 area, and a lot of people were talking about how mining had become more profitable. But then when you stop and you take into account everything that happens with the transaction fees, it really isn't quite as profitable. But at this point, they're saying that it still might be more profitable. But then there's the debate on whether or not Roger Ver or some other people are investing lots of money to make this happen due to the fact that the mining for it is centralized and 90% of it is coming out of the Asian countries, which is also where the price was hyped up to this $1,000 range. I'm going to be leaning more that I'd be very leery of investing and becoming a major, player in this Bitcoin Cash. I still don't necessarily support it, but at the same time, you always have to hedge your bets. I've learned through life that it never treats you fairly, so I haven't sold my Bitcoin Cash. I was very tempted there when the price was very high, but you never know what happens down the road. I do believe in the true Bitcoin, which is Bitcoin that we have now with segregated witness locking in here. But it never hurts to hold these coins. We're always looking towards the future and what the future is going to bring to us. So as much of this stuff as you can hold on to is usually your best bet, right? So what do we got going on? Well, we got Ripple still making some sideways movement. They're up 0.7, coming in at 15.7 cents. We got Litecoin still in the safe zone at 46.87. That's up 3.7%. We got NEM taking a little bit of a slide backwards, down 7.5%, coming at 26.6%. We got Dash hitting the 288 mark. That's down 5%. We got Ethereum Classic rolling up at $14.10. That's up 2.5%. And there we go. We got Monero making the gains I've been hoping for. I'm pretty happy with this right now at the moment. We'll talk about why in a minute. We got 79.98%, or we got $79.98. That's up 53%. It was up over 80 a little earlier. Hopefully we continue to see these gains go on and on. We got Zcash coming in at $245. That's up 7.7% as well. We got Steam and the Steam-backed dollar pulling in an opposite direction. We got Steam at $1.42. That's up 21%. A bit high for my taste. And we got the Steam-backed dollar coming in at 78 cents. That's down 18.8%. Showing me that kind of some of these altcoins are being a little undervalued at the moment. But, I mean, we do have so much going on between Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash that we have a few investors that are still in that trying to figure out what to do. So, moving onwards, what do we got here with news? Well, we got, that we'd seen some big price increases with Dash recently. This is being chalked up to the fact that they got the international conference in London coming up here soon on September 24th. We're expecting to hear information out of them about the Dash debit card that's going to allow you to run around and be sponsored by MasterCard so you can go spend your Dash as if it was like, currency, just like you're doing with your Bitcoin debit card, your Swift or BitPay or whatever you're using. These things are always great for people that are investing in the form of that they're spending the returns because they're over invested for long-term holdings. They're out there trying to make a living in it through whatever kind of programming or web design they're doing on the internet and being paid in Bitcoin, or they're completely all in and day trading trying to make a living at it, which is quite hard to do. So these people that are holding these cards, I'm looking forward to this. This is great. Dash has constantly been growing. It's seen as just as much growth as Ethereum has over the last year, pretty much. So I mean, I've always been somewhat of a Dash supporter. It's how I made my first whole Bitcoin, was off the growth there on that from the $7 as it went upwards. What else do we got? We got Monero. Monero's been making some big gains here over the last day. This is pretty much out of the fact that they're saying that it's going to be added to a South Korean exchange, BitHub. This is one of the largest exchanges in South Korea. Even though they have been hacked recently, they're still seeing a lot of support for it. Out of South Korea, we've been seeing a lot of these coins being pumped. So a lot of people are purchasing Monero on the expectation of, the Monero opening up in the exchange and the price being pumped by them as well. Like they're saying, you gotta, buy the rumor, sell the news. This could be that kind of a situation. I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to do with my Monero at the moment. I've been waiting for this kind of a pump price, so I might be letting it go here soon too. But I don't know if I want to hold on to it a little bit longer, see what happens in the market. The price could be pumped a little bit higher than what we're looking at now. But as always, Monero has a great privacy feature, which is, the true value behind the coin, which the market has been dictating. There is the potential of it holding some of this value along, and that would be absolutely wonderful. So besides that, we're going to be falling back to what's going on with Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash. There's been this large debate on which one is going to be the true Bitcoin, and people have been drawing lines in the sand, trying to figure out, where their beliefs are on this. And I mean, you can draw the lines you want in the sand, and you can believe whatever you want to believe, but nobody can predict the future. The future is going to determine which Bitcoin is the true Bitcoin. I mean, personally, I believe that BTC, the Bitcoin we have right now, not the Bitcoin Cash with the 8 megabyte block, I don't believe that that's going to be the true Bitcoin. But at the same time, life has, shown me many things, and one of the things that's shown me is that you can't predict the future, you can't be prepared for everything, and shit happens. So I'm not selling my Bitcoin Cash, but at the same time, I'm not going to go out and purchase more Bitcoin Cash. If I'm going to continue to purchase Bitcoin as my reserve of savings, I'm going to be purchasing BTC. I believe that this is going to be the Bitcoin in the future. I believe that segregated witness, with it locking in here, I believe that we have great things happening for it. But as always, growth is slow, and growth takes time. Here in the Bitcoin area, we see a lot of people, they want immediate gratification, satisfaction. They want this new technology to come out instantly. They want, they're not understanding that it needs to be tested. The growth in this market from new people coming in that are wanting to see, when they come in, they understand what Bitcoin is, and they see how, it has the potential of becoming a world currency and going to $1 million a coin. But what they don't understand is that we are so far of early investors that the realistic opportunity of them seeing Bitcoin reach $50,000 or more a coin is going to take a majority of their life to get there, and that these gains overnight aren't going to happen. The green-eyed monster of greed is out there, and they see Ethereum and they see what happened. So I mean, they think that if they rush the development of these coins, if they rush the development of Bitcoin along, that they'll actually be able to get that value out of it. And that's not how this is going to happen. The problem is more lies with media and society looking at Bitcoin and coming to understand it, us taking the power away from the government and putting it in this decentralized system, us developing, user interfaces so the dunk-to-dunks of the world can operate cash on their cell phone as just as easily as they're playing Candy Crush or whatever. So, I'm not out here to say which Bitcoin is the real Bitcoin. I have my personal beliefs, and I also know to hedge my bets. So, I mean, I still have my Bitcoin Cash. It's not going anywhere. I'm not going to buy any more of it, but I do believe in Bitcoin. I believe in segregated witness. I think the ideal of adding second tier chains on top of Bitcoin is going to be one of the greatest things we do for Bitcoin. I believe that it's going to bring in all of this technology that we have, created and started developing in these altcoins. We're going to bring them to Bitcoin, and when we bring them to Bitcoin, it's going to, increase the value of Bitcoin as it increases the ability of what Bitcoin can do. And as it increases the ability of what Bitcoin can do, I think that it's going to open up the eyes of society, and they're going to be looking at Bitcoin, and as their eyes become open and aware of everything that Bitcoin can do, they'll start to see what's happening behind the scenes and understand what real money is and how the government is manipulating it and how your dollar isn't going to get you anywhere. And when they start to see that and Bitcoin open up all these avenues to show us what true money can really do for us, people will start to move over into Bitcoin, which will start the opening gates of the mass adoption of Bitcoin into the world, bringing us that, $50,000 Bitcoin that we're all hoping for. So, you just have to be patient, people. You have to understand that we're early investors, and that's why we're here, because we don't have a ton of money. So the little bit of Bitcoin we have and we buy is going to make us a great life in the future. What we have to do is we have to learn to, be patient, but just keep our ear to the ground and listen to what's going on with Bitcoin, so that we know to split our Bitcoin into Bitcoin Cash. We know to, how to continuously keep it safe as there's upgrades in the system. We hear about these little opportunities to be able to invest in Bitcoin and, make our Bitcoin grow over time. You have to sit there and, do your due diligence, because you are responsible for your money and no one else is going to do it for you. But at the same time, you have to be patient enough to know that, this isn't something that you need to cash out now. This isn't something that's going to make you the livelihood you're looking for now. You have to look at this as an extremely long-term investment to actually gain any real value out of Bitcoin and what it's doing and what it can do for society. So if you like everything that's going on here on Bitcoin and Coffee, I need you to hit that subscribe button. I can see that so many of you guys already have. If you haven't, please hit the subscribe button, hit the notification button so you can see every morning when these shows come out. I realize the times have been varying. My work schedule has been fluctuating quite a bit with what's going on. We're in between seasons at the moment down here in Florida, getting ready for all these snowbirds to come back, right? So as always, I have an affiliation codes and links and everything else down there below to help you navigate these cryptocurrency markets, help you make better Steam posts. If you're not on Steam, get over there, please. Get yourself some of that free cryptocurrency. Come on over, upvote my post. It's one of the best things you can do to help out this channel. One of the things I always talk about is how I'm unfunded here. And what that means is that, I'm not being paid by any ICOs. I'm not being paid by any news source. I'm just a guy out here putting my news, putting my thoughts together, inviting you over here to my house, let you sit at my kitchen table with me, have a cup of coffee. We can talk about the latest crypto news. I can tell you what I'm thinking about what's going on in the market, and I want to hear what you guys are thinking too. The best way to do that is to leave a comment below and everyone else can interact with you. Or if you have questions or you want to talk privately, shoot me an email. It's eugeneforest20@gmail.com. There's also a free help desk service there if you're new to cryptocurrency, you're looking for some information, how to figure out some of this stuff. Shoot me an email. I'll see what I can do about helping you out. And as always, you guys, keep your Bitcoin safe.